10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Celebrating junior bowling, elevating junior bowlers. This is Prodigy Bowlers Tour. 9 kids, 5 from Brunswick Zone Roswell and 4 from Brunswick Zone Lilburn, went through a 2-game qualifier to see who could advance to the 5-man stepladder finals. And here they are. Bowling in the number 5 position is Bryant. This crafty left-hander will need his A-game today if he wants to get past our opening match, as he will face our number 4 ranked bowler, Tyrell. Tyrell and his dad just earned their USBC bronze coaching certifications a couple of weeks ago, and today Tyrell will need to draw on all his talent and all his knowledge against today's gifted field. The winner of that opening match will face our number 3 ranked bowler, Jacob. Jacob is making his first appearance on Prodigy Bowlers Tour today. His USA bowling team made the finals this past summer in Cleveland, so he's no stranger to bowling on television. The winner of that match will advance to face our number 2 ranked bowler, Dawson. Dawson is the reigning Youth Bowler of the Year in the state of Georgia, having built an impressive resume in 2016-17. And as if that weren't enough, he and his dad, a silver certified coach, have been working hard over the summer to take Dawson's game to the next level. The winner of that semifinal match will bowl for the championship today against our tournament leader, Logan. This is the 2nd straight Prodigy episode that Logan has led going into the telecast. But his winless streak on Prodigy dates back to February, as he dominated the first half of last season. Will he finally break that streak today and get his first win since last winter? We'll know in about 70 minutes. Welcome to Prodigy Bowlers Tour, a series of unofficial, informal, and impromptu after-league challenge matches conducted by some of the most engaged bowlers in our youth program here at Brunswick Zone Roswell in Roswell, Georgia. Plus, today we're joined by a delegation of 4 young kegglers from Brunswick Zone Lilburn in Lawrenceville, Georgia, all of whom made the final 5. In fact, the only player who can defend the home turf today is our tournament leader, Logan, so the pressure is on him later. They're bowling for the right to sign the coveted trophy pin, and the new pin for 2017-18 arrived this week, so we'll have a pin signing ceremony at the end of today's competition. Earlier today, both Mikey and Christian got to sign the pin for their wins in our earlier episodes of Prodigy this season. So, without further ado, let's light this candle and get match 1 underway between our 5-seed, Bryant, and our 4-seed, Tyrell. Now, this might seem a bit of a mismatch, as Bryant has just aged into the U15 age group, while Tyrell is a U20. But Bryant has plenty of game, and I've never seen him back down from anyone. He is a mighty mite on the lanes. And you know, during our player introductions today, I mentioned that Jacob had been on national television before. But so was Bryant. They were on the same team. Oh, he goes through the nose and opens with a split to start the day. As a matter of fact, all 4 of our players from Brunswick Zone Lilburn have been on CBS Sports Network before, bowling at USA Bowling either this year or last year. So they're all familiar with the pressure of bowling under the TV lights. Now, we don't have special lights for Prodigy, but we give them a little bit of pressure here. Well, Here's our first look at Tyrell today. You've seen him on Prodigy a couple of times. Big strapping two-hander. And he shreds the rack to begin. And we'll see a lot of that out of him, I imagine. Tyrell, one of the best U20 bowlers in the state of Georgia. He finished second at the GYBT U20 Tournament of Champions last year. This time coming up just a little bit too thin to carry a strike. And he's left with a simple single pin spare, the 2. He'll just go with his strike ball for this. Move his feet a couple of boards to the right. And makes it easily. Bryant pulled that one a little bit. Never really had a chance. That was right of target, off his hand. Bryant will wear his emotions on his sleeve. You'll get a good idea of what he's thinking just watching his body language. Converts the 2 easily, so he gets his first mark of the match. Let's see if he can make an adjustment off that split he left in the first frame here. Gave that one a little more room and rips the rack this time. Let's take another look at that one. This is actually a little different ripper. The 5-pin doesn't do the damage on the 10. It's the head pin that comes back and blocks the 5 and comes back and takes out the 10. Solid strike for Tyrell. So he's got the right lane wired. And the lead is 11 early in the match. As he moves over to the left, wipes down his bowling ball, get the oil off of it. There seems to be quite a bit of that conditioner on the lane today. And he slaps out the 10, and we have our first double of the match. And Tyrell extends his lead to 21, so Bryant needs to keep pace here just to stay close. Oh, gives it a rip, but this time the 7 won't go. The 4-pin just lays down in the channel. That's what we call the weak 7. Or the weak 10 for right-handers. He will go cross lane at it. Oh, that one fell off into the moat. And even though the ball bounced out and knocked it over, watch this, the ball will fall into the gutter. Once it falls in, that ball is dead, and if it bounces out and knocks anything down, you don't get credit for it. That's the rule. So, an open frame for Bryant in the 4th, and that's 2 open frames, and you can't give up that many mistakes against Tyrell. There's another ripper. And so you can see in his body language, he's not liking what's going on here. He's thrown some good shots. Didn't get rewarded for that last strike ball on the right lane. And Tyrell will try to put some distance between himself and Bryant right here. And there's a turkey. And it's a helpless feeling if you're Bryant sitting there watching Tyrell working on 3 in a row. You know he's capable of throwing a bunch more. Tried to whisper some words of encouragement in Bryant's ear. Just stay at it. You don't know what's going to happen. There's another one for Tyrell. That's now a 4-bagger. And the lead grows to 53. Now, the first time Bryant was on our show, he got off to a 50-some-odd pin lead in the first 5 frames, lost the match, so things can turn. You throw enough of those, you might see a little change. Let's take a quick look at Bryant's game. We like to see the ball a little more toward the left ear at address, and here's the problem. Okay, he's got the ball right under his head at the bottom of the swing. That's perfect. But at the top, you want to see the ball right under the head, and it's way inside that position. And then at the bottom, it's outside. We want to see it right under the head there. That's where you're going to get the maximum leverage. He actually makes some pretty good shots the way he bowls, but if he could get that swing plane straightened out, he'd be dangerous. He throws a lot of shots like that, bowling the way he bowls. This kid has a lot of potential. But he's a little inconsistent every now and then. He'd smooth that out if he got that swing plane corrected. Well, that turkey Bryant threw may have gotten Tyrell's attention. I told Bryant just a second ago, whispering in his ear, that if he gets up and throws 2 more, we might just have a match. Fairly routine spare here for Tyrell. 2-4. No problem. Take a look at the qualifying scores. Kids bowled 2 games of qualifying. Logan got off to a fast start. Dawson was right on his heels with a 247 to open up. Bryant consistent. Right behind them, Nolan and Tristan tied a couple more marks and they would have gotten in. Christian going for a 3-peat, couldn't quite get it done, and Hunter is always going to be where the action is. Well, that's what you call 10 back right there. That is high flush. Watch this. They just all go away. Oh, he needed another one to narrow the gap. But this one goes through the nose, and he's left with the 4-7. And now he's in a bit of a pickle. Go cross lane. And he covers the spare. But now Tyrell is going at a 228 pace. The best Bryant can do is 215. So he's going to need some help. And 3 more of those. Couple of marks here by Tyrell will lock it up. Let's watch this solid strike by Bryant. Crunch berries. All right, Tyrell just needs to avoid the big mistake here. Oh, timber! That one, the head pin will do all the damage on this. Yeah, let's take another look at this one. Watch the head pin go to the left wall, and it actually flies up and around the left side of the rack. It was actually the 2-pin that did the damage on the 4 and 8. Well, that was a little unusual, but a strike nonetheless. And one more will wrap it up. And see you later. Patented Tyrell Strike right there. He comes in the half pocket. Watch the 5-pin. Zip right over into the 7, and it has no chance. Now this time he doesn't get that same action. The head pin goes to the wall and sends the 4 back into the 5 so that the 5 can't come over and do the damage, but that's going to put Tyrell in the 240s with a conversion, 247. And he covers the spare. Oh, he fouled. He fouled. Well, I guess if you're going to foul, time to do it is when you've got the match locked up, but he just got a little too close. That's still a 246. Nice game. And there's a solid strike for Bryant. It's going to be too little too late, but he threw some nice shots today. Bowled consistently to get into the top 5. Bryant with scores of 193, 192 in the qualifying round. He's on a 205 pace here. 8 and a wiggle there. That'll give him a possible 203. So overall, a pretty steady day. He just needed to come up with a big explosive game against Tyrell, and you're just not going to get that every time. But it's a 246 to 203 final score, and Tyrell will move on to match 2, where he will face Jacob when we return. Now, bring the spirit of Prodigy Bowlers Tour to your bowling center with Prodigy Bowlers Tour t-shirts and sportswear, including collared shirts with the Prodigy logo printed on the back to show that you support junior bowling. Check out the entire assortment of Prodigy t-shirts in the Brunswick store. Visit PRODIGYBowlersTour.com to see the selection. See the ash gray Celebrating Junior Bowling, Elevating Junior Bowlers t-shirt, or the Who Will Win the Coveted Trophy Pin t-shirt. Or maybe you'd want the one that says, I've come to get my bowl on, right on the front of the shirt, or simply, Bowl Me. There's a t-shirt that says, Bowling. You probably don't get it because it's mainly for smart people. And if you're a proud parent with a junior bowler, we've got a t-shirt just for you. And how about this t-shirt? You're bowling an 8th grader. Prepare to meet defeat. Available in grades 1 through 9, most in both adult and kid sizes. And finally, the shirt that reads, Bowl better, have more fun, take lessons. Then maybe you can keep up with me. The Brunswick store is powered by the people at Cafe Press, and all of these shirts are available right now. Just go to PRODIGYBowlerstour.com and click on the link to be taken right to the store. PayPal and credit cards accepted. That's PRODIGYBowlerstour.com. Get your bowl on and bring the spirit of Prodigy Bowlers Tour to your house. Order now. Go to PRODIGYBowlerstour.com. That's PRODIGYBowlerstour.com. Well, Bryant didn't bowl bad that game. He made a couple of mistakes. And when your opponent is shooting 246 at you, there's just not much room for mistakes. But Bryant throws too many strikes to be counted out. He will be back. But it's Tyrell who is moving on to match 2, where he will face a newcomer to Prodigy Bowlers Tour, Jacob. We've been trying to get Jacob to come over and bowl Prodigy for a while, and you're going to enjoy this match. These two can really scatter the pins. As they exchange handshakes, as we always have the kids do before each match, we will teach them sportsmanship if we teach them nothing else. And there's a ripper to start. How about that one? And he's throwing urethane. He's throwing a pitch black 5-pin. Takes out the 7 in what we call the swisher strike. And we call that one 10 back right there. That's as solid as they get. These two bowl in the same league over at Brunswick Zone Lilburn. All 4 of the kids who came over from Lilburn made the show today, so there's only one from Roswell in the top 5, and that's our top seed today. Oh, just a wee bit high, and, well, look at this. He trips the 4, and watch the 2-pin go behind the 4 and take it out. And how about this reaction? I haven't seen the funky chicken in a few years. Till now. Oh, and that one just doesn't quite finish hard enough to slap out the 10, so Jacob's got a corner pin to shoot. Oh, my goodness. And he sends that one well wide of the mark, and it has no chance of coming back. He's throwing plastic at the 10-pin, and that ball's not going to hook that much. And that ball is going to hook a little bit. And he leaves a tricky spare, the 3-6-9. Here's how you make it. If you're a right-hander, you're going to put it out there between the 3 and 6 with a little hook on it so that the ball will drive through and take out the 9. But this time he throws his plastic and it does hook a little bit. More than I would have expected. And he hooks by. And so that's back-to-back opens for Jacob. Not the start he had hoped for sure. As Tyrell, working on a double, can put some distance between himself and Jacob here. But the stubborn 9-pin refuses to go. That's what we call a stone 9 right there. Not much you can do about that. Maybe move your feet a board left. On a house shot, you might just move your eyes a board left to keep it in the oil a little longer so that it doesn't finish quite so hard. But he covers it with no problem. And he'll move over to the left lane. Tyrell, like a lot of these kids, using the removable thumb, but it makes him a little unusual for a two-hander in that he uses his thumb. And he stuffs 10 back on that one. So let's see if Jacob can start to claw his way back in this match. There you go. That's the way you get that one to work. Let's take a look at these two-handers side by side. Similar in a lot of ways, a little different in a couple other ways. We're going to show you in a coach's clicker here in a minute one of the differences with Jacob He gets his head pretty much down toward the floor, whereas Tyrell keeps his eyes up. Oh, this one was a little left off his hand, and so he doesn't get the double that he needed to cut the lead. And he'll have a fairly simple spare, the 6-10. There you go. He would have liked to have thrown it just like that when he was shooting at that 10 pin a little while ago. Dawson coming to get some equipment. He's warming up on a pair of lanes down to our left. All right. Tyrell got a strike working. And there is another stuffed strike right there. Those pins have no chance when you put it there with that much velocity and that many revs. This kid is really well coached, well trained. Uh-oh. Well, now this could tighten things up just a little bit. He's left himself the 3, 6, 7, 10. Here's how you make it. Put that ball over to the right of the 3 pin, send the 3 into the 7. The ball will take out the 6 and the 10. Well, at least that's the way you draw it up. Let's see what he can do with it. How about make it? Great shot. Let's take another look at it. Gets that ball right over to the right of the 3, just like we drew it up. That split conversion, a little demoralizing for your opponent. When you're sitting on the bench, you know you're behind in the match, and you're thinking, okay, he's going to give me an opening here. And then he covers the split. This match would be about 10 to 12 pins tighter right now if he'd missed. There's the double Jacob was looking for. That cuts it to 28. He's not out of it yet. Just needs to see Tyrell throttle back just a little bit. I don't know if Tyrell has throttle back in his bowling vocabulary. Take another look at this one. Little light shaker, and he likes it. Gives that one plenty of room, and it comes back, and the lead is back to 38. But if Jacob can keep striking 2 more strikes, he'll have it back down to 18. But this is no time to be missing. Oh, but he pulled it. And he leaves the baby split, the 310. We call it the baby split because it's one of those splits you can convert with the ball taking down both pins. Put that ball right between them. Just like that. Great shot for Jacob as he will head to the left lane, and we will look again at his conversion of the 310. Oh, and he pulled it in the oil, and that ball just never had a chance to read the friction. Let's take a closer look at Jacob's game. I referred to this earlier. Now watch what happens. When he gets to the bottom right here, look at where his head is. His eyes, it's like he's looking at his shoelaces, and then his head pulls up. His head moves a foot right at the release point. And I don't know how anybody can bowl that way. You take your eyes completely off your target, and your head moves a foot. It's hard to keep your eyes on the target with your head moving, and when you take your eyes off the target completely and look down at the floor, I don't know how you can ever consistently hit your target. You can't hit what you're looking at if you're not looking at it. He would do well to learn to keep his chin up. Oh! And with that strike, Tyrell puts the match away. Well, he should be ashamed of himself for this one. But I don't think he's going to give it back. Yeah. And he says, I have literally no idea how that went down. Well, neither do the rest of us. And he even shreds the rack when he gets a double dribble. So it's looking like Tyrell is going to be pretty hard to beat. Now let's watch Tyrell when he gets to the bottom of the swing. See, his head is still up. His eyes are still looking at the arrows. That's something Jacob could learn from. Little thin on the 11th frame, but that's going to put him in the 240s again. And a sweet little 244. And Jacob goes high in the 10th, leaving the 4-7. This is all academic. He's just going through the motions of finishing out the frames. Strike on the fill ball for a 182. It'll be the lowest game he's bowled in our event today. Jacob shot 202 and 236 in the qualifier, so this is not what he had in mind. But it's Tyrell who's going to move on and face Dawson in our semifinal match. That's coming up next. If you bowl Youth League in the Atlanta metro area and would like to have Prodigy Bowlers Tour come to your local bowling center, have your youth director or general manager get in touch with me by emailing me at randy@prodigybowlerstour.com. We're looking to fill some dates this season and would love to take the show on the road to where you are. And here's some exciting news for those of you who live outside the Atlanta metro area and would like to have Prodigy come to your bowling center. We're currently working out the details of a pilot program that would enable us to have Prodigy tour cities all over the country. You've asked for it, and we hear you. It's too early to reveal the details, but stay tuned. As soon as we get this pilot program together and have ironed out the kinks, you might soon be the next host of the soon-to-come Prodigy Bowlers Satellite Tour. Keep watching Prodigy to get more details as we can reveal them. Back-to-back 240 games by Tyrell, and I think we can officially declare him on a roll. Meanwhile, Jacob just couldn't quite get a string of strikes going, and that's what you need when your opponent is in dead stroke. So Tyrell takes another step up the stepladder and moves on to match 3, where he'll face the Georgia Youth Bowler of the Year for 2017, Dawson. And Dawson has been bowling great. He started the day today with a slick little 247. He may need something like that against Tyrell in this match. Back that up with a 198, his second game in qualifying. Not sure that will be enough, but you never know. But here is a game to emulate right here. Well, you can't do it any better. That is one sweet roll that he's got on that bowling ball. Oh, well, first one of those we've had today. Watch the head pin go to the left wall, and here it comes. Chops out the 10, the classic messenger. And yes, yes, yes. And another ripper. Tyrell makes it look pretty easy, doesn't he? When he gets in dead stroke, he is a load. Dawson's a pretty cool customer, I'll tell you what. He's not easily intimidated either. He's very even keel. He's also got that ball going high flush. So we're perfect through 2 frames. These two were on the same USA bowling team last year that won the national championship. So they're friends as well as competitors. And they're pretty familiar with one another's games. We pulled that one just a little bit, but it's set in the oil. He knows he got away with it. But those are 3 solid pocket hits to start. And so far, nobody's really challenged Tyrell. Looks like Dawson's going to give him a run for his money. And that one comes in just a little bit light. And now Tyrell has a bit of a tricky spare. The 2-8. Just want to hit that 2-pin solid right in the face, or if you're coming in from the right side with a hook, hit it on the right side. The ball should drive through and take out the 8. Just like that. When you throw a big hook ball at the 2-8, or any double wood for that matter, you just want to be careful and not get past the face of the front pin, because then you'll send it to the right of the back pin. Ideally, you can hit it where he hit it, and the ball will take out both pins. There ain't no pins left over when you hit them there. That's another solid strike for Tyrell. Starting to sound like a broken record, aren't I? He throws a lot of them. Dawson, fairly deliberate player. He's not going to go until he's ready. Oh! How about that one right there? Comes in light and rolls the 3 from behind. Watch this one. The head pin will go to the wall, and it'll come back, and I think it actually knocked the 6 into the back of the 3. How about that? It's all right. You take them however you can get them in this game, because Lord knows there's enough times that you feel like you should have had one, that the bowling gods deny you. And he gets a wall shot this time. Here's the classic left-hander's wall shot. Watch the head pin. It'll go to the right wall and come back and take the 6 into the 5 and also takes out the 10 while it's there. Another shredder. Well, we've got us a match here. 10 frames, 9 strikes. These are junior bowlers, friends. Just so we're clear on that. Oh, that one got away from him. So it hooks high. We're bowling on the house shot today, so it's pretty dry on the outside, and there's a little bit of over-under, which means if you throw it in the oil, if you pull it, it may not finish, but if you get it too far to the right too quickly, it'll overhook and come back. That's what happened to him that time. It went through the nose, but he has a simple spare, the 6. Oh! Well, maybe not so simple. Well, he needed to throw the bigger ball. Well, that was an unexpected mistake. One you don't see him make very often. So Dawson, who's perfect through 5, gets a gift. And with that strike, Dawson extends his lead to 45. Well, as I mentioned earlier, the first 2 opponents that Tyrell faced never really quite challenged him. They made a couple of mistakes early, and Tyrell had a free run, but now here's Dawson halfway to a perfect game. Oh, and that one just hooked a little early. That's a good run. The front 6, and then he leaves a solid 6. He should have no problem with this. Dawson is one of the best spare shooters in junior bowling in the state of Georgia. And as soon as I say that, he proves that he's human. He missed that by 3 inches. You don't expect that. So, the exchange opens. Both of them missing a 6-pin. Well, and Tyrell puts that one right in the hole, and that 6-pin almost flew around the 10, but it just ticked it on the way back and tilted it out. And you write that down as an X on the score sheet. You can describe it any way you want. It's still a strike. That 8-pin was peeking at him. Watch this one. Oh, he took the 5 right off the 8. Something else tipped out the 8. Let's see if we can pick it up here. We're going to watch his reaction. I think it was the 2-pin that went back and got the 8. Dawson right back on it. So 7 strikes in 8 frames, and he's like, okay, let's just steady the ship here. Had 1 bad shot. No need to get all upset. Dawson won't show you much emotion. He's a cool customer. But his lead is down to 22 now. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, he just didn't catch it at the bottom of the swing. He just didn't catch it with his fingers. And now the 5-10, you move your feet 3 boards to the right, throw it over your strike target, and you should make it. Put that ball over on the left side of the 5, slide it into the 10. As splits go, this is one of the easier ones, but it's still no gimme. And it overhooks. He gets too much 5-pin, and now an open frame. And all of a sudden, Dawson's lead is down to just 10 pins. What's more, Tyrell now has a chance to get up and strike in the 9th, 10th, and 11th and shut him out. There's the 1 in the 9th, and we have an even match going into the 10th frame. My goodness. If Tyrell strikes out, he will shoot 245. The best Dawson can do is 235. Tyrell needs the first 2 in the 10th and 1 pin to shut him out. There's the first one. Dawson got up. He wasn't even aware it was the 10th frame. He was so steamed sitting there thinking about that 5-10 that he missed, and I think he's really thinking about that 6-pin he missed. Here's the shutout ball. And he gets it. And now all Tyrell has to do is stay behind the foul line. Now, he did foul earlier on his fill ball in a previous game. He's sitting at 235 right now. If he fouls or throws it in the gutter, he just needs a pin. That's a winner. And Tyrell staging a furious comeback in this match to win. And Dawson has got to be shocked. He bowled great. He made 1 big mistake in the 7th, missing the 6th. The ball came off his hand a little flat in the 9th. That actually was a bit of a bad break, but still. He stuffs that one. He can still shoot 235, but it's not going to be enough. Hunter stopped by to tell him he had to leave. I think Dawson was like, dude, I am so PO'd right now. He gets a wall shot on his ball in the 11th, but well, it's disappointing. You start with the front 6 the way he did and open up a lead the way he did. You don't expect to lose. But Tyrell, that's 3 games in a row in the 240s. So That's pretty hard to handle. And that is a 235 with 10 strikes. How about that match right there? But it's going to be Tyrell who faces our tournament leader, Logan, when we come back. And now a new feature on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, Legends of the Game. Today, we bring you Marion Ladewig, who some might say was the greatest woman bowler of all time. In a 1973 poll, she was named the greatest of all time. She was certainly the greatest woman bowler of her time, having been named Female Bowler of the Year by the Bowling Writers Association of America a record 9 times between 1950 and 1963, more than any other person, male or female. In 1949, Marion won her first Women's All-Star Tournament, the precursor to what we now call the Women's U.S. Open. Then in 1950, she won it again. In fact, she won the BPAA All-Star 5 times in a row, 8 times overall, and was runner-up twice. Her rise to bowling stardom came during bowling's heyday in the 1950s, and she even had her own bowling show on NBC TV and was featured on numerous other TV shows, like the classic game show, What's My Line?
We'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is.
Marion Ladewig, the queen of bowling and a legend of the game. So Dawson, one of the best spare shooters among all youth bowlers in the state, whiffs on a 6-pin, and that opens the door for Tyrell to stage a furious comeback. Dawson starts the game with a 6-bagger, and Tyrell ends his game with a 5-bagger and a fill ball. 246, 244, 244, and Tyrell is sitting at 734 for 3 games. Not a Prodigy record, but I think it may be the 3rd highest 3-game series we've seen on Prodigy to date. It's certainly in the top 5. So let's see if he's got one more as we now move on to the championship match where Tyrell will face Logan, who's looking to break a winless drought on Prodigy Bowlers Tour that goes back all the way to February. At that time, Logan looked unstoppable as he had just rung up his 7th win of the 2016-17 season, only to be stopped cold and eventually caught and passed in the race for the coveted trophy pin last year. But it's a new season and a new day, and these two players are 1 game away from signing the coveted trophy pin. Logan, being the higher finisher, had the choice of starting lanes. He wants to finish first, so Tyrell will lead off. And, well, have I said this before? Tyrell shreds the rack. Has a familiar ring to it, doesn't it? All right, Logan on the right lane. And that one's high flush. And Logan is throwing urethane today. I don't believe we've seen him do that on Prodigy before. He's got a hammer black urethane ball, and he says he loves it. And the thing about urethane, especially when you're bowling on a house shot where you've got some over-under, is it'll smooth that out. The ball won't overreact. Oh, and he pulled that one. It stayed in the oil and never quite finished, but he hit in that wall shot area and gets a light shaker. Watch this one. The head pin will go to the wall and it will do the damage. And Tyrell sends that one just a little too wide, and it doesn't quite make it back. And you see him grabbing his back. He was complaining about just a little bit of back pain. He hurt his back at the Georgia All-Star Tournament a week earlier. The 2-4-5 put that ball right between the 2 and the 5. The one danger is chopping the 2 off the 5. But he covers it perfectly and is clean through 2 frames. Well, Logan got off to a fast start today with a 258 right out of the gate. That's the high game we've seen bowled in this Prodigy event thus far. Followed it up with a 197 in qualifying. Well, and we've seen Tyrell carry hits like that before, but this time the 10 pin refuses to go. Watch his reaction to it. I thought that would go. Didn't. Okay. Tyrell's giving us a little dance move. I think he's digging the jams that are coming through the speakers. Cross lane at the 10. No problem. Well, the one problem is that's spares, and he's used to striking today. And now the little man with the big ball, Logan, working on a double. And he shakes him around. And that's a turkey to start. Get another look at this one. The head pin will go to the wall and slaps out the 4 and the 7. Oh, and this one does hook back much harder than he expected. He got it a little wide into the dry and it overhooked. It's the 3, 6, 7, 10. That's the second time we've seen this left on the show today. Tyrell made it earlier. Let's see what Logan can do with it. How about make it? Well, that's fantastic. Twice we've seen this left today, and twice we've seen it made. Textbook right there. Well, that's just like a vacuum sweeper taking the pins off the back of the deck. They have no chance against that. Really, about the only thing you could possibly leave on a hit like that would be an 8, maybe a 9. Take another look at it. Watch this. The ball's just going to suck them right off the back of the lane. See you later. He got that one a little wider, but with more speed, so it didn't overreact and it didn't make it back this time. He wanted that strike to cut the lead to 7, but as it is, the lead remains at 17 if he converts the 2-pin, which I would expect he would do. And he does. So, it's back in the hands of Logan now. See if he can put a double up and increase his lead. Well, he gets one. Solid strike right there. Strike here would increase it to 27. We've seen that no lead is safe against Tyrell. Well, that one was similar to one we saw Jacob throw earlier with his urethane ball. You pull it a little bit, don't get it out to the friction, and urethane, because it's not as strong as a reactive resin ball, it's not going to grab the lane quite the same, so it just kind of skids on down and you don't get the drive through the pins. No drive, no 5. That's the disadvantage to throwing urethane. Sometimes you'll leave all kinds of crap that way. A 5-7 or an 8-10. You gotta have some power to throw a urethane. These kids have it. Oh! Ringing 10. Well, all these hits were going for Tyrell earlier. Watch this one. The 6 pin is going to fly up and around. That is the solid 10, we call it. And once again, he will go cross lane at it. Takes his plastic ball. Oh, and he missed it. Just got it a hair wide. Well, these kids get used to seeing the ball hook. And every once in a while, not often, but every now and then, they'll just let it go a little wide at these corner pins, and plastic is not gonna recover. So now Tyrell has dug himself a hole. There is how you slap out the 10 pin. That's what he was hoping for the last time. But now Logan, getting down to the final frames of the match, and he's got a commanding lead. And a strike working. Watch his reaction to this one. He knows this is a big one. Happy, happy. Double here would be the first nail in the coffin for Tyrell. Oh, he got too wide. My goodness, that ball was out to the 4 board. And he leaves the 1, 2, 8, 10. Watch this ball. Watch where it gets wide. That's about the 4 board, and it's not going to recover from there. He knew it. Here's how you make it. Put the ball on the left side of the 1. Send the 1 into the 10. The ball will take the 2. And either the 2 will take the 8 or the ball will take the 8 if all goes as planned. But the best laid plans go awry every now and then, so that's an open and short count. He leaves 3 on the table with that open. And now the lead is down to 13, and Tyrell has a strike up. If he gets up and throws 2 strikes here, he takes the lead. There's 1. Has he got another comeback in him? We know he's capable. We just saw it against Dawson. Watch this one. That is 10 back. That's what I call striking like you mean it. This one to take the lead. And he gets the wall shot. And he's wincing in pain, but it's not keeping him from throwing great shot after great shot. And now Logan, stepping up in the ninth, he will finish his match now. He needs strikes. There's one. But here's the situation. If they both strike out, Tyrell would shoot .227. The best Logan can do is .220. So Logan has got to get 2 strikes in the 10th and 7 to force Tyrell to double. There's the first one. Well, I got to tell you, there's nothing I love about bowling more than seeing a tight match come down to the 10th frame and watch players perform in the clutch. And you're seeing it right here. Logan needs this one to force Tyrell to double. And you can't throw it any better than that. And even Tyrell is applauding that one. Look at that. The 9 and 10 go out to the right. Watch his reaction to this one. Yeah, baby. All right, he needs 7 here. Ooh. So, 6. That changes the count situation a bit. So now Tyrell can go strike, 9 spare, and we would have a tie. He still needs 2 strikes to win. And he's got to have the first one. Let's take another look at Logan here. Ooh, he knew that one hurt. All right. Tyrell must strike on the first ball or Logan wins, and then he's got to get at least 9 to stay in the match on the second ball. But he's got to have this one right here. And it's light. And with that, Logan has broken his drought and wins on Prodigy Bowlers Tour today. Tyrell comes up 1 strike short of running the stepladder. Wow. He covers the 2-8, but he's going to finish with a 205 if he strikes. And it's going to come up a little short. And you can see he is wincing in pain. But I'll tell you what, he put on a courageous showing today and bowled great all day. That's a 9 count. That's going to be 204. 216 to 204. It is Logan who will be signing the coveted trophy pin for the first time since February when we come back.
It's a strike. Bowling's fun, and AMF is the secret. AMF automatic pin spotters, a true quality AMF ball, and sure-footed AMF bowling shoes add up to the perfect combination. And remember, superbly made AMF bags carry bowling ball and shoes the best. Get AMF balls, bags, and shoes from the man who knows your game, your bowling proprietor.
So, Tyrell's climb up the stepladder ends 1 game sooner than he'd have liked, but I somehow have a feeling we'll see him in the winner's circle before too long. He is one very talented young man. Still, an exciting championship match that came down to the 10th frame, and if you're a bowling fan, that's what you want, isn't it? On this day, it was Logan who finally broke through to end his winless drought, and I've got a feeling he's probably pretty happy about it.
The last time we were here was February. I believe you'll recognize that as a pin.
Oh, yeah.
Today is the 30th of September.
My hands are too shaky, I can't write one. So it's 9/30, 2017.
17, yep.
Wow, okay.
So how does it feel to break your losing streak?
Pretty nice. Took a long time.
So what were you throwing today?
Hammer black urethane.
You like that ball?
I do. I throw whenever I can. Makes it a lot easier.
Congratulations.
Thank you.